All right, hello, Ravens escapees. How are we doing this fine Wednesday? I apologize for my eyes. I just cleaned my contacts, so they're a little bit red. I apologize for that. I do know. Oh, well, first off, stop. Rewind. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ravens Escape Crafts. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. I am Sue, your head crafter in charge, and the one who talks on these videos. I usually show what I made the night before, or the days, or whatever, or progress. I have a project, and I don't know if it's going to work out, so I don't want to show it yet, that I was working on last night. So I won't have any actual crochet project for today. That's okay, because what are we going to do today? It is Wednesday, so we're going to read chapter 2, or at least part of chapter 2 of the novel I was reading you last week, which is Lone Driver by me. So before we get into that, though, today, Wednesday, whatever today is, June, whatever, starts the premiere sale at 12 o'clock today. So if that's something you're interested in, or if you need some yarn, today might be a good day. I don't know what's going to be on sale. I have no idea. I have no insider information on it or anything, but I'm a little bit excited for it. I hope that there's some good sales, because there's a few things from Premiere I could really use that I'm sort of excited for. I have some stuff in my cart. Hopes, cross. So hopefully we're going to have a good sale today. It does start at 12 o'clock today on Premiere yarn sale. So I don't know, they said it's a big sale, so please be a good sale. I want to buy some yarn today. So other than that, it is still hot as Hades here. And I think we're just gonna get into reading the next chapter of the book. Because I don't have a whole lot else going on. Not really. It's been hot. Everybody's hot. We haven't done a whole lot because it's really hot outside. Pretty much it. So, I figure I'll read you chapter 2. Now, before we get into chapter 2 of this book, okay, there's going to be some language. There's also going to be explicit stuff. It is not PG. It is not PG-13. It is very much adult content. So if this is not something you're comfortable with, not something you want to hear, please don't watch it. Okay, please don't listen to it. It's not for. It's not. This is. I do not write gentle romance novels. Okay, I write very explicit, and it does have a lot of language. It does have a lot of sexual explicit stuff in it. So if you are not comfortable with that right now, please turn the video off. I appreciate you watching. If you're gonna leave now, please, as I understand, it's not for everyone. So if you're going to turn it off, I appreciate you. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Enjoy the premiering art sale if that's something you're interested in. If not, have a great day. Do something that makes you smile. Okay, for everybody who's still staying, we'll get right into it. All right, Lone Driver, Chapter 2. I wake to the wonderful smell of coffee brewing and roosters crowing. My body protests in so many ways, reminding me that my years of late nights and easy recovery are a distant memory. I stretch, listening to my joints crack and crunch. Jeans, boots, t-shirt on. Check. Use the facilities, brush teeth, ponytail. Check. Avoid looking at the bags under my eyes and lines on my face too long. Check. Time to do this. I meander down the stairs to the sound of male voices and female laughter. Katie is already busy in the kitchen. She thrusts my travel mug of coffee at me before my foot hits the bottom step. I love you, I mutter, taking my first sip. I know, she retorts, stopping her conversation with Steve, my right hand on the farm. I wait for them to finish their story, and Steve is on my heels out the door. He knows I like to get all the pre-breakfast chores done as soon as possible while I'm still a little fuzzy. Brought in a new one last night. Adam. That's good, we could use a fresh set of hands. Seem okay? Typical, wary, doesn't like to be confined, looks strong enough, strong-headed. Steve laughs as he opens the door. Aren't we all? Soon the others come wandering in the barn holding their mugs of bean juice. There's not much chatter this early. We save that for breakfast table. Everyone starts their chores, mucking stalls, feeding everything that needs to get fed. I see him come wandering into the barn, very out of place, with his black t-shirt, jeans, and biker boots. One day in this sun, and he will get over that black soon enough. Steve nods at me, asking me if I want him to take him today. I shake my head. Usually I do let Steve take the reins with the new guys, but for some reason I want to take this one. I can't explain it. I put down the shovel I was using and take off my gloves and while walking over to him. Warning, come on. The faster we get this done, the faster we get out. Or we eat, the faster we eat. He nods and follows me. I show him where to get fresh straw and lead him to the stall I was mucking. I show him how to lay the fresh bedding down in the stall. His face is stern and determined. He falls right into place, helping me, going to retrieve more bales as we need, never saying a word. I watch him closely for signs of pain or discomfort. I know these men. They would never tell me if I am pushing them too hard, and most of them have had terrible injuries they are recovering from. The last thing I want to do is screw up all the progress they have made. I watch the muscles bunch under that tight shirt and see no signs of fatigue or strain. He doesn't wince or shy. I notice a slight limp to his gait, but it doesn't seem to be causing him any real pain. I will have to keep an eye on that. We all make quick work and are headed back to the house, led by our noses and grumbling stomachs. As usual, the spread is amazing. French toast, pancakes, potatoes, bacon, eggs, fresh orange juice, and more coffee. The pack of hungry wolves descends on the feast. Plates are filled, syrup is poured, coffee is creamed and sugared. I always start the talking. Between Steve and I, we outline what needs to be accomplished today. Assignments are given. Groans and moans ensue. I introduce Adam to the group, and everyone introduces themselves. We all know the routine. Adam, although quiet and probably overwhelmed, shakes hands with everyone and seems genuinely surprised at the immediate acceptance in the tight-knit group. He probably doesn't realize that all of us were exactly where he is right now. Some of these guys very recently. Belly's full. Everyone takes a few extra minutes before we get down to business again to chit-chat. I watch Adam closely. You can tell a lot about someone by the way they interact with people they just met. I have learned these years the signs I need to watch for to tell if someone is going to be a problem. Truthfully, it doesn't happen too often. All of us spend a great deal of time trusting new people and relying on them to keep us alive. However, once in a while, someone comes here that is too broken for us. These men are trained to kill. A loose cannon is a very bad thing. Thankfully, Adam seems to be interacting and answering questions when asked, even if they are clipped and short. Still a good sign. Looking at the clock, I get up. All right, let's go, boys. I listen to the sighs and grumbles as I walk out the back door. Everybody immediately follows and heads off on their own directions. I stop in the barnyard and wait for Adam. So do you ride? I ask as I lead him to the horses. I watch as he eyes up the mare and stallion in the paddock ahead of us. I see the tick in his jaw again. He doesn't want to look weak. Finally, he shakes his head. Nah, I only ride Harleys. I smile. No problem. Neither had I when I came here. You'll learn. You'll learn. Your ass will be sore tonight, and you will curse me tomorrow, but you'll survive. We are on the south fence today. Come on. He just nods and follows me. Part of me is looking forward to a day alone with him. Might give me a good chance to get through to him. Another part of me is a little unnerved. There's something different about this one. I can't put my finger on it, but something in my guts tells me he isn't like the others. I showed him how to saddle his mare and send him back to the house to get our lunches for the road. We won't be back until dinner, and that is only if we don't run into too many fence issues. The south side has been giving us trouble lately. By the time he returns, I am all saddled up and grabbing the saddlebags with the tools in them that we will need. I showed him how to mount, and we are walking the horses in no time. To be honest, there's nothing I like more than riding across the fields first thing in the morning. Well, maybe sitting on the porch with a glass of sweet tea, watching the sunset, but this is a close second. There's just something almost magical, just you and nature, the only sound of the horses' feet on the earth and the birds chattering away. Occasionally there is some small creature scurrying out of sight or the distant sounds and smells of the cattle. I pull the air into my lungs and let it out in a rush, sending all my stresses and worries with it. A day out in the fields is just what I need. I turn to check on Adam, who looks very uncomfortable on his steed. He's hanging on for dear life and watching the ground beneath him. I can only hope that he doesn't get motion sick or he's going to be in trouble. I give my mount her head and gallop off a little way to get some wind in my hair. Then I double back, reining my horse in next to Adam. How's it going? He never takes his eyes off the ground. It's going. How far do we have to go here? I try not to laugh, but it slips out anyway, earning me a scowl. We need to ride the south fence and check it. We are looking for weak spots. Posts that are leaning, barbed wire that has been damaged or cut. Basically, we need to make sure the cows can't get out and nothing else is getting in. We try and ride them at least once a month, more if we have time. With this much acreage, things happen. Trees fall, posts rot, kids cut the fences to ride in our pastures or tip the cows. It doesn't happen too often, but one break in the fence can be catastrophic for us. Our goal today is to check the fence to repair what we can and then mark anything we can't. Then tomorrow we can come out and fix the big problems if there are any. He nods. So you usually do this alone or in pairs? I'm just so glad he's talking to me and not concentrating on falling off his horse, which is exactly what he's going to do if he keeps looking at the ground. I guess I'm going to have to try and keep him talking. It all depends. Sometimes we go out alone. There are a few of us that are really good riders and have been doing this long enough we can do it by ourselves. But if there's enough hands to go around, I prefer if we go out in pairs. This land can be very unforgiving. Anything can happen. The horse can step in a gopher or rabbit hole and throw you. You can pass out from heat exhaustion. There are plenty of snakes to get bitten by or spook the horses. Predators aren't unheard of. If you get in trouble miles out from the ranch, no one will come looking for you until it starts to get dark and you aren't back. You can be really bad off by the time they find you, or worse. So we really try to send people out in pairs. The chances of two people running into trouble is much less, and then at least one can ride back for help if necessary. I watch his face as he mulls over what I'm saying. I see him eyeing up a whole lot of nothing that is what we are riding through. Just big open fields. He glances back toward the ranch, but we are over the hill, and it is no longer in view. The only visible marker is the west fence that we are riding along to get to the south fence. I guess it's pretty isolated out here. I'm not sure if I've ever been anywhere like this before. Even when I was in the Middle East, there were people here and there, nothing like this. Yeah, I get it. I grew up in the city myself, New York to be exact. When I first came here, I couldn't sleep. It was too quiet. I was used to noise at all hours. Then I got used to sleeping in bunks and crowded barracks. This was a whole shock to my system. I catch him looking off again as our horses meander slowly toward the southwest corner of the property, and I see that jaw working again. I would love to know what he was thinking, feeling. Is this good for him? Is he planning on murdering me? Probably not, but let's face it, I just met him last night, and he wouldn't be here if he were in the best shape mentally. We find the corner, and I ride to the next fence, showing him what to look for. Are the posts solid? Is there any sign of damage or wear? I ride up to the next one of the posts that looks a little crooked and show him how to kick it without getting off the horse to see if it's solid. He just watches me. He will probably fall off if he tries this already. We spend the next few hours riding along, tacking up a few pieces of loose wire and putting a few good hits on some wobbly posts. He seems attentive and eager to learn. This isn't uncommon around our crowd. Let's face it, taking orders and doing what we are told is what we know. It's all some of us know. Shut up, listen, and do your job. It seems Adam is no different. When we finally make it to the stream that runs through the property, we are hot, sweaty, and even the horses are ready for a break. I tie the horses so that they are in the shade of a tree and able to get to the water. I watched Adam gingerly walk toward the stream as well. Poor thing, he's going to be really sore tomorrow. I grab the packed lunches out of the saddlebags as well as my water bottle and motion for Adam to come over to the stream bank. I plop down, leaning against a tree, and lay my head back to let the cooler air of the shade and the slight breeze cool me off before I try to eat my lunch. I hear the sound of horses lapping at the cool water, and then I hear the water splash. I open my eyes to see Adam kneeling at the edge of the water, his shirt in his hands, dipping it into the cool stream. The sight is enough to make me sit up a little straighter. Despite exhaustion, his jeans are sitting low on his hips, giving me a clear view of his very tan and very muscular back. I can see the muscles beneath the skin working as he works the shirt into the water, as every bit of cooling off I have managed suddenly disappears. My entire body is heated anew, wanting to run my hands over the expanse and feel those muscles flex beneath my hands. I catch a glimpse of a large scar on the right side near his ribs before he turns and catches me watching him. A flush creeps over my face that I hope he thinks is caused by the heat, as I pretend that I was busying myself with our lunches. When he sits down against the tree that is across from me, his wet t-shirt is back to covering everything, and I'm not proud to admit that I am slightly disappointed. Crap, it has been a while, I guess. I work with lots of guys, and they are all muscular in tone. I've never had such a strong reaction to any of them like this. And it's not like I'm immune to them. Some of them are very attractive, but I'm essentially their boss, and I always thought it would make things weird. Besides the fact that they are all recovering, and the last thing they need in their lives is another complication. I remind myself of this as I hand him his lunch and try to act like something other than a horny schoolgirl. He nods his appreciation and grabs his sandwich and chips. Opening the paper around the sandwich, he starts to munch, and I see him looking over at the horses. I lean back against my tree and try to look casual. So how you holding up? He looks back over at me, and I see sort of a sadness cross his face before he clears his throat. I'm good. My legs are a little wobbly from the horse, and I clearly shouldn't have worn a black shirt, he says as he pulls the wet fabric from his chest and lets it slap back. I can't help but notice how the fabric clings to his chest like a second skin, accentuating the fact that his front is just as toned and hard as his back. I wonder what it would be like to run my hands over his pecs, abs, lower. Crap. I take another bite of sandwich, a large swig of water. I want to pour the icy water all over my head and cool off my traitorous thoughts, but I'm going to need every drop of it in this heat. Maybe I need to dunk myself in the stream to cool off. I could strip down to my panties and... No. Bad. Very bad. Naughty, in fact. Oh, so naughty. Crap, what the hell is wrong with me? Do I have heat stroke? Did I fall and hit my head and don't remember? I'm never like this. This man is here for me to help him get his life back in order. I'm ready to jump him and ride him like a good little cowgirl. Crap, no, stop. I need to think of wrinkly old ladies. Naked, wrinkly old ladies and wrinkly old hairy balls. Ugh, yeah, that's helping. The big old hairy man balls swinging in the breeze. Well, we're about 2/3 done riding the fence. That's good news. He takes a big gulp of water, and I watch his mouth on the bottle and the long line in his throat as he swallows. Crap. Big smelly old hairy hanging balls. What's the bad news? The corners on my mouth turn up. Then we need to ride back. His head falls back against the tree. I know. I've been trying to avoid thinking about that. It will get easier, I promise, just like everything else. The words are out of my mouth before I think about them. I watch as a dark cloud passes across his features. His eyes tighten to slits as the tension in his jaw causes the bones to protrude from his cheeks. You would think by now I would be better at this. How many people have I helped on this ranch? Why does Adam have me so off my game? This isn't like me. I didn't mean... He abruptly gets up, dusting off the back of his pants and heads for the horses. Adam, wait! He roughly unties his horse and winches as he returns to the saddle, riding slowly off without me, across the stream toward the unchecked fence. I could easily catch him within seconds, but decide that I already put my foot in my mouth and should probably give him some space. I clean up our lunch and return to my own saddle. I see him hammering some wire to a post, so I make a wide berth and head for the next problem. We finish the rest of the length of the fence in the same manner, steering clear of each other until we make it to the corner. I ride up to him, blocking his path with my horse. Look, Adam, I didn't mean anything by it. I just meant that everything can get better. I didn't mean to upset you. He looks off across the field, jaw ticking. What did they tell you about me? What do you mean? He looks back at me. His eyes are burning with rage. If I were standing, I would take a step back, maybe more than one. What did the doctor tell you about me, huh? Did he tell you that I'm crazy? Did he tell you everything that happened to me, huh? Did he tell you I didn't handle it well? Did he tell you? I put my hand up. Stop. Just stop. He didn't tell me anything. Like I said last night, he told me he needed a place to stay and that he thought the ranch would be a good fit. He never tells me anything. Some of the guys leave here and I never hear their story. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, not even a therapist. I'm just a woman that got her head fucked up in the military and was saved from myself by this ranch. Now I try and see if I can save others like me. I give people a place to decompress and figure their shit out while learning a new skill. That's all. If you ever want to talk to me, I'm always available, or if you want to talk to a professional, I can recommend one. Other than that, I just want to help. As I speak my truth, I hope that he's believing me. I know how the anger can be, and I really don't want to trigger an episode this far out from civilization. I watch as those cold, hard eyes stare into my soul. I keep my face neutral, trying to reassure him that I mean no harm. He gets off his horse and walks away. I dismount as well and take a seat in the pasture, hoping he will return. The sun is past its peak, starting to head for home. We won't make it back till after dark, even if we leave now. We lost a lot of time because of his learning to ride. I'm weary and tired. I really just want to go back to the ranch, drink a large glass of sweet tea on the porch. Part of me wants to go talk to him, but the logical part of me knows that he needs the space, and I will just make it take longer. I'm trying my hardest to look passive as I sit here, listening to the horses munch on grass. I see movement in the distance, and realizing that it is Adam, I make sure to maintain my ruse. I pick at the dry grass, seeming unaffected, even as I hear his footsteps draw closer. The world gets dark as a large shadow falls over me. I pick another blade of grass. Sorry I overreacted. I look up and all I can see is the dark outline of him standing over me. I want to get up and look into his eyes, see what I am dealing with, but I stay where I am. I'm sorry, I'm not dealing with things very well. You didn't deserve that. I get up, brushing the dirt off my jeans, and give him a nod. It doesn't really help when they keep trying to make you talk about your feelings the entire time you're in the hospital either. This earns me my first smile. Judging by the awkwardness of it is not something I should get used to. However, his entire face transforms with the smile. The usual hardness fades away, leaving him appear much younger and almost boyish in appearance. The youthful dimples that indent his cheeks are adorable in themselves. I now realize how much is weighing on him, far too much, and it is crushing him. Something is gnawing at his soul, and if he can't find a way to fight it, he might be lost forever. God, they're relentless, he says. You would think that people who make their life's work to help people would learn to shut the fuck up every once in a while. Truer words have never been spoken. So are you ready to head back now? We're going to lose our light soon, and I really need a shower and some dinner. He nods as we get back on our horses, me quickly, him with a wince and a hiss. Race you? I ask. The terrified look on his face is enough to draw a hard laugh from me as we both start walking the horses back toward home. We ride in silence through most of the trip. I think we are just both exhausted, and the heat is not letting up. We finally arrive to find all the hands as well as the ladies out in the yard, some mounted, others fetching lights and supplies. When someone spots us and yells, everyone runs over to see us. It takes a little explaining that our ride was much slower than I anticipated, and there had been more repair work than I was prepared for, but all in all, everyone was just glad we were safe. Most of the men headed for their cabins, while Adam and I headed for the big house for some dinner. We both grabbed large glasses of sweet tea and full plates of food and settled down at the large table. You did good today. I just want you to know I appreciate it. He shakes his head. Fence work is no problem. I worked some construction during the summer in high school. Horseback riding, though, that is not my cup of tea. You get used to it. You're nervous, and this animal can sense that. The real key to riding is becoming comfortable with the animal. Trusting the animal to keep you safe. Once you get more saddle time, you'll see. He moves in his chair, trying to find a more comfortable position, trying desperately not to smile since I had just been just as bad off when I first started riding, and even now know that I will be stiff tomorrow after an entire day in the saddle. I lift my chin to him. You know, men don't usually do this, but if you take a nice hot bath tonight before trying to go to bed, it will make things easier. He lifts one eyebrow toward me. I take a bite of food. Hey, do whatever floats your boat, but I can honestly say that nothing they threw at me in the military compared to the pain that I felt after my first day riding. You can just be glad I have you on the schedule for the barn tomorrow and not out on the north fence. Are you going to show me the barn work? I take a large sip of my sweet tea and tastes heavenly. No, tomorrow's my office day. I have some paperwork and calls to make in the morning. Then I have to run to town for supplies in the afternoon. The joys of running a ranch. I would rather sling manure for 12 hours than pay bills and negotiate auction slots. Trust me. This seems to amuse him. He tries to cover his smirk that is threatening to turn up the edges of his mouth with a cough and a sip of tea, but I already saw it. What, pray tell, is so funny? Just imagine you covered in shit. I scrunch my face and try to look menacing as I am fighting off my own smile. Thin ice, Adam. Thin ice. I'm your boss. Shoveling a manure can become your reality at the swipe of a pen. He takes his last bite and follows it with the last of his tea. I finish as well and get up to wash my dishes. I feel more than see him come up next to me at the sink. I can still feel the heat of the sun radiating from his skin. He's that close to me. He smells of horse, sun, sweat, and man. He lays his plate and silverware in the sink, and just his forearm brushing against mine makes the hairs on my arms stand on end and my breath catch in my throat. It's like an electrical charge when our skin touches, making me feel things I thought long dead. I wash the dishes as he grabs a towel and begins drying them, then searching the cabinets to find where they belong, puts them away. Very domestic. At least I know he has good manners. When we are done, I lean my hip against the counter and cross my arms. Well, I'm going to go take a shower and read a little. I'm beat. Adam leans across from me, mirroring my stance. I'm not going to lie. I'm beat too. Thank you for teaching me today and for being patient with me. Most importantly, for inviting me to stay here. I lift his shoulder. It's what I do. He turns to walk out the door and I follow him. When he starts to descend the porch steps, he stops and turns back. I wait with my heart in my throat. What is he going to say? I can see his jaw working again. I know he's thinking, but of what? He looks off toward the barn and then back to me. With a nod, he smiles. Good night. The word makes me tingle. I don't know why. It is the low tone of his voice that affects me so. Is it the intimacy of that one word? Hell, lots of people tell me good night and it doesn't bother me like this. There's something about him that has me off. What? I don't know. I watch as he reaches the cabin and disappears inside. And then I turn back to the kitchen, only to cry out when there's someone standing and staring at me. It's Katie, already in her pajamas and her hair in a knot on the top of her head. I reach for my chest as Katie fills the tea kettle in the sink. Geez, jumpy much. What's got you spooked? I walk over and straighten the kitchen chairs that aren't really askew. Sorry, it was a long, hot day. I guess I wasn't paying attention. She places the kettle on the stove, turning on the burner, then grabs the mug from the rack on the wall. Sure, it was the heat that got to you. Because it's usually so cool around here. What's that supposed to mean, I ask. Katie drops a tea bag in her mug and lifts one shoulder. Just seems like it may be Adam that has you so steamed up. Damn it. Is it that obvious? What the hell is it about him? Crap. I head for the stairs. Come on, Katie. He just got here last night. I haven't even begun to figure him out yet. I'm just tired. Barely got any sleep last night after picking him up so late. Long, hot ride today. I'm just tired. I'm going up for a shower. And then I'm going to hit the hay. All right. I'm going to finish it there. That's partway through chapter 2, but there's a lot more to it. So we're going to pause there for this week. We did not get to the super explicit stuff, just so you're all aware. But we're in like a whole nother section that's going to take a lot longer. So we're going to pause the button there. And I'm going to put a mark and we'll start that next Wednesday there at that point. I hope you all enjoy it. I'm really enjoying writing this story. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So let me know in the comments if you like it, if you're excited to hear. Like I said, I can read more if anybody's interested, but for now, I'm just going to read once a week. I'll do a once a week segment on Wednesdays for this, and we'll see where we go. And hopefully, we'll get this book written. So, I hope you all have an amazing Wednesday. I hope you all, if you're going to go check out the premiere sale, that you're going to get some cool yarn. Let me know. If I do, obviously I'll do an unboxing, or I'll let you know tomorrow how that went. So that is my big plans for the rest of today. I have no other real plans except for staying cool. I hope you do something today that makes you smile. One thing today that makes you smile. Even if it's just watching my videos, because I know I'm silly. I appreciate each and every one of you. You all mean the world to me. You really do. I enjoy making these videos more than you know. They are really good for me to do. And I really enjoy chatting with everybody. And I really enjoy sharing my book with everybody. So I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. And choose love every day, everyone. Bye.